let's talk about Monday Night Raw as a whole, because something felt different last night. I can't, it's hard to explain. Something felt different. And I think, to me, if we look, this new Netflix deal is already paying off. This Netflix streaming situation, without the constraints of network TV, without the time constraints that network TV gives you, Raw was a tight 2 hours and 30-something minutes. And that was all meaningful wrestling. There was no filler. There was no awkward segments that draw on forever. There was no need to put the Pure Fusion Collective in there to fill up 15 minutes as a time buffer. We were able to just keep it tight and get to the good stuff. And I'll say it. And I know I tend to overhype things, but that Monday Night Raw last night felt the closest I felt to an Attitude Era Raw in a long time. The way the show started, the flow of the show, and the way it ended, it just kind of clicked for me. I never felt the urge to fast forward, because I watched it. I started about an hour and a half later than everybody else, and I never felt the urge to fast forward through anything. And that's saying a lot for me, because when I have the opportunity, usually I'm fast forwarding through a couple things to keep the show rolling. But let me address the IWC here for a second, right? Because there's a lot of trolls in the IWC right now who are messaging me and telling me WWE can't keep this kind of pace. They don't have the stamina, that this is just a short kind of honeymoon period with Netflix and they can't keep it up. But I ask, why not? Like, really, why not? It's not like they brought out the heavy artillery last night. There wasn't, besides the Penta debut, there wasn't a lot of smoke and mirrors and big, the main event was two mid-level guys. It was Damian Priest and Finn Balor. If Triple H is able to keep this kind of pacing and build a show within a time frame that makes sense, I think Monday Night Raw is going to be the most must-see wrestling program on TV, because of the creative freedom it's going to give Triple H. I think, there were a lot of us that kind of talked about, well, he's going to be able to kind of push the product into a more mature position. I don't necessarily think that's what's going to happen. I think Netflix is just going to create kind of a time freedom, the freedom to just put on TV what Triple H, the stories he wants to tell. And if that means we're 2.5 hours, that's what we're going to do. If he knows he's up against a football game, we don't have to run long. If he's got a lot to say, if we're running into WrestleMania, we can go 3 hours and 15 minutes. I love kind of the creative freedom that this Netflix deal has brought.